Hello, everybody,
Hello.
and welcome to another episode of Making
Making
Musically
Musically
Challenged. You
Challenged.
came in a little late there.
You were pausing, so I was like, she gonna start?
Oh, that's actually not bad.
Is this your first time you're trying that coffee?
Yeah.
What kind of coffee is it?
It's a chai tea latte.
Oh, that's right, it wasn't a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a chai tea fan.
That's actually really good.
I like tea. I just don't like chai
Have you
tea.
tried this? Try it.
I literally just said I don't like chai tea, and you're like, here, why don't you try it? I'm like,
It's really good.
I haven't based my opinion off nothing. I've had it before.
I thought I didn't like it, but then I tried it today, and I was like, oh,
Fine.
they make a good chai tea latte. Ew.
What?
Your spit just like lingered on my lid.
Gosh. Actually, that was pretty good.
Told you.
It's like gingerbread.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just chai tea that I don't like. Maybe
Probably.
the latte part. I'm a coffee person.
Anyway, this is an episode about the zodiacs.
Is it? Because I think it's an episode about coffee.
Fun fact, we used to have a podcast called Coffee and Clues.
Now, why are you digging that up?
Because I think I don't think you can find it anymore. I had to take down the website because we weren't using it and I was paying for it. So
That's right. Hey, look. It's my son.
silly cats.
Whom does not please me often.
So we keep changing our recording space. Today we're in my room and Mary Beth's child, her cat, is being really annoying and wanting to go in.
I can.
And he's just sticking his butt under the door.
His tail's peeking through. He has such a big butt.
Such a needy cat. I've never met a needier cat.
I don't know. Andre on certain days can get real needy.
At least he doesn't stand at the top of the stairs and scream for attention.
This is true.
Your cat's the neediest cat
He
I've
comes
ever
and
met.
finds you and bites your ankles instead.
Yes, that's much better than screaming for you nonstop.
Depends on your opinion.
Anyway, so today we're talking about the zodiacs. Now we have 12 zodiacs. Let's see if we can remember all 12. Should I just pull up the list? Let me
Go ahead and pull up the list because I had them on my phone as pictures.
I'm just gonna pull up the list.
And I messed up on the alphabetical order because apparently I don't know how to alphabet.
No, I kind of told you.
I know. Well, I forgot that there were 3 zodiacs that started with C. Because my pictures of Cobalus and Cornu were right next to each other. And I didn't see Caddis, and they were all the way at the bottom. So that's how I missed that one. And I realized that when I was recording one of my TikToks. And I was like, oh no.
It's okay. There's been a lot of mistakes in the TikToks this week. Do you want to address the issue just in case someone has seen it and they don't read the comments?
I did put this in the comments. So I messed up on Aquarius's sexuality. And we're going to talk about all the zodiac sexuality in this episode too. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that Aquarius specifically is autosexual, not phrasexual. Cornu is phrasexual. And that one's correct in that TikTok. But the first TikTok I released, which had Aquarius in it, she is autosexual. And I don't know how I got those two mixed up. I just wasn't thinking.
All right. So let's go down the list. We've got, this is not going to be in alphabetical order. This is going to be in my list order.
That works.
So we've got Malleus the Hammer.
The Hammer.
He is the Dwarven zodiac and aromantic.
Yeah.
So aromantic basically means that it's kind of like asexual, where you're not into the doing. Aromantic is where you're not really into a romantic relationship. So the dwarves really only do for logical reproduction reasonings.
Yeah, it's only for procreation.
And their partnerships are more for what can they gain, what can they benefit from it, not because they've fallen in love. Now again, I'm just going to do a blanket statement for all of these sexualities or gender conformities or romanticisms are not for everyone. These are the general ways they lean, but it's not going to be every single one. We have the outliers, as we've stated multiple times.
We're going more off of the traditions we've given to each race and culture, because we've made it to where each culture has a traditional sexuality, traditional, like, I guess, gender conformities, and so on and so forth. And like Mel said, not everyone's like that because everybody's different.
And that's okay.
That's great, actually.
But these are this the original versions of this race.
Well,
It's based off of their zodiac. The
yeah.
zodiac is this. And so when they created the people with this particular sexuality in mind, but people can do whatever the hey they want to do. So eventually they started branching out from that.
Hmm.
And that's how we have the mixing pot of harmonia that we have today.
Well, the zodiacs are the creators, and the ones that created their each of them created a race in the likeness of themselves as a mirror version of themselves,
Mhm.
and obviously they're created with free will. So
Mhm.
things happen and things change.
And that's totally fine. Nobody's upset about it.
Now that
And
we've
we're gonna move
covered
on
the
from
blanket
there.
statement.
So that was Malleus. He's dwarven zodiac. He's aromantic. He's very much like a gruff, no nonsense
Hmm.
kind of fella.
And his style is inspired by Russian styles, like, and I'm specifically talking about their clothes and sometimes their hairstyles too. Their hairstyles kind of just depending on like what I think it look good on them, but especially their clothes, I definitely like to draw from different cultures for inspiration.
Mhm.
So I'll take designs from those different cultures and I'll incorporate them into the different ones in Harmonia. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that these cultures reflect the cultures I am drawing from. They're just inspired artistically by them.
Yeah. And if you want to see the pictures, we do have this podcast up on YouTube as well. So go ahead and head over there. You can find the link on our website, musically challenged show at gmail.com. Yes, that is accurate, right?
Maybe.
Okay. Um, you know where to find it. The link's on there. Go to the podcast page. It's right there up there at the top, and you can find all of our YouTube episodes where Mary Beth has so graciously put the pictures of what we're discussing. So
Yeah.
that was Malleus. Next, we've got Kuma or Ursa Major.
So some of them do have mortal names
Mm-hmm.
that they use specifically when they're on the mortal realm, and they're like the zodiac names are more their titles.
Yes. So like Malleus is the word for the hammer, and that is his zodiac name. He has not deigned to give himself a mortal name. He only goes by Malleus. However, Kuma means bear in what is it,
In
Japanese?
Japanese.
And his zodiac is Ursa Major. So he has given himself for lack of a better term, a human name. And while his zodiac is Ursa Major and his zodiac name would be Ursa, he likes to be called Kuma to kind of fit in with his people.
Hmm.
And his people are the giants, and the giants are a all male race that are all gay. Well, not all gay, but the majority of
The
them
majority of them,
are gay.
they're homosexual.
Yes, so that is Kuma. And he very much loves his people. He likes spending time with his people. And one of the things that he's done for them, since they are an all male race and they can't biologically have children, is he gave them. I believe we've discussed this before. How some of the zodiacs have given their people like a little bit of like a star seed or something like that to help them when it comes to creating life. So he kind of planted that in like this
It's a cave.
it's a
It's a magic
cave
cave.
full of like this like water. So it's kind of endowed in both like the rocks of the cave and the water in the cave. And like you go in there and you create your kid
Basically,
using this magic mud.
it worked like how you would use clay. So
Mhm.
basically, he made a cave that had magical clay, so you can have a magical clay baby.
Yes. It's really cool.
And the stones that are in the clay and stuff are in the cave also can be incorporated into the child. So a lot of the giants have like different gem and rock patches on them.
Mhm.
So
So that is Kuma.
he is really
Um,
trying over there.
what? No, that somebody was using the litter box.
Oh, I thought that was my son.
No. Okay, up next in the list we have Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
or as she likes to be known, Sarces.
I like Sarces.
Sarces is really sweet. She's the zodiac for the daemons,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the daemons are scoliosexual. and typically they are transgender. Um,
She
so
herself is also transgender.
yes, so she was once male and decided that, like while biologically she was male, like she was actually female. So she used her powers to transform herself into what she knew to be true for herself,
Hmm.
and she helps her people do the same thing. So if they're they grow up in a community where they don't really treat you as male or female. What?
I just realized I forgot to tell everybody Ursa's or Kuma's inspiration.
Oh.
Oops.
Well, we said Japanese.
No,
No,
that's
that's the
his
name.
name. See,
Okay.
that's where the conflict comes from. So his name is based on Japanese because we really like the name, but
Mhm.
the culture that the giants are and that Kuma's inspired by is more Hispanic styles.
Yes.
Back to Gemini.
Okay.
Sorry, just that interlude. Gemini is inspired by ancient Egyptian styles.
Mhm. And so Sarces really wanted to create a culture where it was okay to not know what your gender was. You were brought up in like a genderless society up until I think we said at the age 18.
Hmm.
And then at that point, you chose for yourself whether you wanted to, whether you identified as male or female. And if your body reflected that, great. But if it didn't, then there's like a really beautiful ceremony that she helps her people go through that transform them from one to the other, depending on what they feel is true for themselves.
Well, the whole gender choosing is a ceremony. Although she's the one, of course, who does the transitions for those who were
Hmm.
not born in the gender that they are.
That they are, exactly. So that is Gemini. Next, we have Cornu.
What's old
And
Cornu?
now Cornu is the fairy's zodiac name, and she does not have a quote human name.
Cornu.
Everybody just calls her Cornu.
Cornu means wing, by the way.
Yes, Cornu means wing. She is the zodiac for the fairies. They are phrasexual, which means they um kind of do you explained it really well on your TikTok.
I did. So, phrasexual is when you are attracted to someone that you don't know very well, like
Mhm.
not necessarily a stranger, but someone that you're getting to know.
Mhm.
And as you're getting to know them, the attraction fades.
Mhm. So that's the fairies. The fairies are a very flighty group of people. They don't have the best memory in the world. Oh, that's Juan's plug.
Did you find something, you little hell spawn?
That is Elise.
I love you.
So that's Cornu.
Wrong one.
Caddis is right under Cornu.
Lots of C's. We have 3 C's.
Yeah, and Cornu is inspired by like Asian culture, um, and just like that really pretty, just very kind of delicate look almost.
Yes, so we are. I'm drawing from the different Asian like styles for their clothes, but I'm incorporating natural elements and how they're made. So
Hmm.
like, let's say that you have like the traditional Chinese top. Well, it's made out of pine needles.
Hmm. And don't at us. I know there's a lot of different Asian
There are. I'm
cultures.
mostly drawing from Chinese and Japanese just because those are the
Hmm.
two that I'm most familiar with.
Hmm.
And we're kind of just like taking, especially the ones that are very similar to each other,
Hmm.
because some of the outfits are similar and some are very different.
Yeah,
So,
that's how we're doing that.
also, the fairies are the only group of people that have multiple, like, there's not just one kind of fairy,
Hmm.
there's 4 different kinds of fairies. They
Yes.
reflect the seasons.
Yeah, so there's a spring, summer, fall, and winter fairy.
Hmm.
And they are the ones that are in charge of changing the seasons. So there's like this big ceremony that's held 4 times a year that like changes like from winter to spring, and it's really pretty. And we'll actually
Hmm.
get to see that in the show.
You see it a few times in the show.
We'll see one for each season in the show.
Yeah, we'll see the change, but I think we only ever see the ceremony once because well, don't quote us on
Don't quote us on
that.
that. Okay, so next is Caddis.
Caddis.
Again, Caddis is the name of the zodiac, and they do not have a quote human name. Caddis is basically the cat. That's the zodiac kind of constellation, is a cat. And this is for the Purpura people. And they are pansexual and
Non-binary.
non-binary. Um, okay, and they pull from what was your inspiration for them?
African styles.
Okay, yes. So they are kind of more along the lines of African styles. Because they're non-binary, they all go by like they them. Um
And they're all purple.
they are all purple. Louise, hello. Um and then one thing, because they're all non-binary, they don't have Louise.
Excuse you.
My cat just hit the microphone. I do apologize.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Go over there.
So because they're all non-binary, they don't necessarily have doing parts that create babies. So to counteract that, kind of like with the giants, Caddis created the tree of life, basically. And you're born from this birthing pod. We have actual names for them, but I don't have the notebook right.
The
in front of
dwarf trees and okay, so there's the dwarf trees, which are the trees that are connected to the giant tree,
me. Mhm.
and I cannot for the life of me remember what the giant tree's name is.
But it does mean the life tree.
Go check out the Purpura episode if
Yes.
you want to learn more.
And so you have to spend a year cultivating this tree, and the tree kind of soaks in what you put into it. So good vibes only, please. And once that year is up, it'll sprout a little pod, and that pod is your child. And then you spend like the next 9 months or so um, making sure that the tree and the pod stay healthy, and then eventually your little baby, your bouncing purple baby, is born.
Bouncing purple baby.
Your fruit baby.
Yeah, they're processed fruit.
No, but they're really cool. It's a really neat way to see them be born. And then once they pass, they're buried back underneath their tree that they were born from, and they kind of become they go back into the ground, they go back into that tree, and then they go back into the tree of life.
Thought you had your phone on silent, man.
No, it's on airplane mode. It's usually on silent. I don't know why it's not.
Oh no.
Bless you. Bless you. Did I send you that video?
I hate sneezing so much.
Did I send you that TikTok of Schmidt having like a panic attack when he sneezed? Like the zodiacs when they get sick?
The zodiacs? What?
The zodiac signs as they're sick?
I don't think you.
I'll have to find it. Oh my god, it's
How does
perfect.
Taurus react? Angrily? Because that's how I act.
No, it's really funny. I'll show you later. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so once they pass, they're buried back under their dwarf tree, and they basically get put back into the tree of life. And the purpuras are kind of recycled, is a weird word, but it's like,
In a way, they reincarnate.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to use it. It's the circle of life. Just call
The
it what it is.
circle of life. We can't sing. That's why it's not a singing podcast.
It is a singing show though, but don't worry.
We're
we
not
have
the
no
ones
part
singing.
of the singing.
And it's not that much of a singing show.
No, it's mostly for just every so often.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like musicals.
Well, it's not fully a musical.
I know.
All right. Up next, we've got the Virgos. Valkyries. The Valkyries.
The Virgos?
The Virgos. Me. We have
I
me
didn't know that there was a multitude of her.
Yes. She is above all and is everything and all the things.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Libra.
No, it's me.
Oh, okay. Last time I checked, you weren't Virgo.
I am Virgo.
You are not the Virgo.
I am the one and only Virgo.
You are a Virgo.
No, I am the end all be all of Virgos.
Okay, if you choose to voice her, sure. But if you get to voice Virgo, I get to voice Taurus.
Actually, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that too, now that I think about it. Stay tuned for us as voice actors now, I guess.
Okay. So Virgo also does not have a quote human name. She just goes by Virgo.
She's so pretty.
She is the queen of the Valkyrie.
No, we don't have queens.
It was a joke.
She's the zodiac.
I'm aware.
Your jokes aren't funny.
You're not funny. So the Valkyrie is a lesbian race.
Yes.
And similar to, Purpura and giants, Virgo has had created a way for her people to procreate because they're all female
Hmm.
and they kind of need a little bit of baby juice. Um,
uh, I
a little bit.
don't
So
think I like that term at all.
so what we do for them is they kind of create their kids out of like clouds.
Yes.
And
Kind of
so
like that
that
scene in Hercules where he just pulls a Pegasus out of the clouds.
And that's kind of like how they're so light. That's why they can fly. They're like made of clouds.
Well, they
That's
have
all
wings
they have.
too.
Well, yeah, but like you need like those little thin bone, like the bird
Yeah,
bones to be
no, I
able to
know.
fly and all that.
They're
So
made of clouds,
yes, they're made of clouds.
and their city's in the clouds.
City in the clouds. That's something, isn't it?
Uh, I there's Castle in the Sky.
No, I feel like it's a city of the
Oh, sorry,
clouds. I don't
Lewis.
know.
Anyways, so their inspiration is ancient Greek styles
Mm-hmm.
for their clothes. Now, the Valkyrie, like I said, have wings.
Mm-hmm.
So each of them are also based off of a different kind of bird for how their wings on their back are. Plus, their little ears are very wingish too. So same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So based on like what kind of bird they're based off of is the kind of colors and their feathers and how big
Mm-hmm.
their wingspan is, how small their wingspan is, things like that.
I want to see a hummingbird.
And I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, it'd be so cute.
Poor little thing just can't fly.
Now it can fly because like it would still make up for it would still be proportioned to the body. They would just be like more compact wings.
Mm. That'd be interesting to see.
It would be adorable.
Okay, so after Virgo, we've got Libra. Libra.
No.
She also does not deign to have a human name.
How dare you think so?
Libra is a interesting zodiac. She kind of considers herself the head of this little project here. She's the one that created the humans, and they're all just heterosexual
Traditionally.
traditionally.
Not everybody's like that.
No. But that is Libra. She, again, does not deign to have a human name because she thinks she's above
She
everybody.
thinks she's project manager.
Think of Mega Karen. That is
She
Libra.
really is Mega Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Now their styles or her style is based off of European
Mhm.
styles, so that very well Victorian European specifically.
Yeah.
I'm giving it more of like a modern-ish twist to it.
Yes. So that is Libra. Then we've got Cabalus. He's the zodiac for the goblins. Again, no quote human name. He just goes by Cabalus,
He takes a
and
step back.
he does. He's not super involved with his people, and it's not like how Libra's not really involved. She's not involved to a whole different level.
She's not involved to the sense that she doesn't actually talk to her people, but she meddles. She's a big meddler.
Yes.
However, Kobalos is just like, nah, peace out.
Yeah, he's just like, I made you, my job is done.
Plus, the goblins don't really have much to do with him, anyways. So
We get into the goblin, like go listen to the goblin and dwarven episode. We really kind of get into that there.
yeah,
If you kind of want to know the goblin's mindset. However, the goblins are fluid.
they are.
So they just kind of depending on what suits them best for that moment in time is kind of where they're gonna lean.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And Kobalos is, or his design is based off
50s.
1950s American, and his specific design is greaser.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a punk.
Yeah.
I love his design so much.
Next, we've got Sagittarius, which is the centaur, and they are sapiosexual. Which really means that they find knowledge to be the most attractive thing. So the smarter you are, the more attractive you are. So like the wisest person in the community is going to be the most attractive.
Yes.
And Sagittarius, again, no human name. It just goes by Sagittarius.
He's the wisest of all the zodiac.
He is very wise. He connects with his people. We'll go ahead and tell them the design influence.
Right. So their design is based off Native American styles,
Mm-hmm.
mixed with like different horses, because there's like Clydesdales and dappled grays, and they whatever pattern is their horses, the pattern that's literally all over them
Yeah.
and reflects their hair as well. But like their clothes, for what little clothes they actually wear, because they are half horse, is based off Native American.
Yes.
Some of the hairstyles too.
And so we're also kind of doing like I'm sure you've seen like depictions of how Native Americans will pass around like the, for lack of a better term, like the peace pipe, and they kind of sit around, the fire, and that's how they kind of call upon like the
She
Louise,
really is going after that mic.
the shaman of the community will call upon like the deities and have them kind of appear in like the smoke and have, that's kind of how they communicate with Sagittarius. He's not necessarily there, but he'll communicate with his people in that way.
Sort of.
Yes. Next we have Arbor or Amma. He will go by Amma. He is the elven um zodiac. Arbor means the tree, and elves are polyamorous. And so
I forgot we gave him a mortal name.
yeah, and Amma is very, very loving, very protective of his people. I believe it was the Irish culture that you're kind of pulling from for them.
Irish and Scottish.
And he kind of messed up at one point. Go listen to the elf or vampire episode if you want to learn more about that. And because he messed up by giving life basically to somebody who was dying, to the Grand Maestro of the time, he got in trouble.
Immortality was kind of created.
Yeah, he accidentally gave immortality to his people. That's a big no-no. And so now he is basically stuck in the astral plane until the first vampire that's created passes, and she's still alive. So he's just kind of stuck in the astral plane. So if you want to see him, you're going to have to go to his like temple in a way. It's not really a temple. It's more of a meditation center. And there's like a hookah pipe that you have to smoke to get yourself into the astral plane, and that's where you can talk with him, because you can't take anything out of the astral plane. So that's the only place you can talk with Amma.
Yes. So
oops. All right, two more guys. We've got Sereni. Again, no quote human name. She's the Sirens, and they are.
No, Sereni is her Aquarius is her zodiac name. Sereni is actually her mortal name, so she does have
on here. Yeah, okay. So Aquarius is the zodiac, Sereni is her name. She's the siren, and they are autosexual, which means they're just really into themselves, which is fine. You do you, girl.
Yeah.
And again, they are an all-female race. However, go listen to the siren, or really even the vampire episode for this one too, to see how they procreate. It's a big, long story. I'm really not going to get into it today.
Yeah.
But their influence is
East Indian styles.
So that is her. She was also one of the zodiacs who just kind of pieced out after creating her people.
Yeah.
And she's so into herself that she forgot to create a way for them to procreate, which is why they've had to go to the measures that they do.
Yeah.
Like I said, go listen to the siren or vampire episode to hear that. And then last but not least, we have Taurus, or she also likes to be called Dinah. They are the bulls or the orcs. It's like the bull zodiac, but they are the orcs. And they are a bisexual race.
They are.
And one thing, so this is not in the Taurus orc episode. This is something that's actually kind of recent. You want to go ahead and tell them what they're based off of so that this makes more sense?
Sure. So they are just blanked. Okay, they're based off the Polynesian designs.
And I realized the other day that in an older Polynesian Hawaiian culture, they have a kind of a third gender.
They still exist today.
Yeah, but it's like
not super well known.
Exactly.
From at least from our standpoint.
And so we're really we want to tie that into the orc culture because they are bisexual. They find strength to be the most attractive. So whether they lean towards male or female is not really that big of a deal for them. And so we're gonna have some even be kind of that third gender, which is
Mhm.
a mixture of both male and female. I think that's a really cool and beautiful thing that they have, and I really want to celebrate that and put that in here. And I think
Mhm.
it works really well for the culture that we've built around the orcs.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's like the basics of the zodiacs.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say that the orcs also. You kind of said something about it, but like they have cow horns. That's why we were kind of giving them the bull.
Yeah,
So
so
I
they
gave them different cow horns. They look really cool. I like how they look.
Yeah. So that's the basics of the zodiacs. They live in what we call as the ethereal plane. It's a play on, our company is Ethereal Studios. So the zodiacs all live in ethereal planes, and they actually are going to have a hand in each of the shows that we create. It kind of ties them all into like a little multiverse, which is going to be like a fun little surprise, I guess. Not really surprise because it's
Hmm.
known, but
Well,
like,
I do want to go ahead and say that so the 12 zodiac we talked about today are not the only zodiac that exist.
no.
These are the ones that head the Harmonia project, basically.
Exactly. So, for instance, we have a show that's called Mad, and it takes place in our world. So, all of our 12 zodiacs are in that show.
And if you
Um,
notice, some of the zodiacs in Harmonia do overlap with our world because
mhm.
sometimes they do overlap with other worlds.
Exactly. So, it's not just like 12 zodiacs per, like a separate 12 zodiacs per world.
Yes.
Like, it's just different. Think of a big office, and you're just a part of different projects in that office. That's kind of how it is here.
We do have a zodiac show planned that is going to show and incorporate all of this and how it works.
Mhm.
So,
It's gonna be kind of like a spoof spinoff in a way, but it'll, like, show the behind the scenes and kinda, like, show why certain things happen the way they did,
yes.
and, it'll be kind of I'm excited for it because it's not gonna be as dark or as serious as the rest of our
No.
shows are. Because we have a lot of
Dark and serious.
dark and serious shows, and so this one's gonna be more of, like, a lighthearted it'll be fun.
Well, I think musically challenged like has a good mix of like yes, they have its dark and serious moments, but it's still like a fun and
Yeah.
happy show.
It is. It just
Chant.
tackles topics that typically are heavier,
Yes.
but in a light way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Bear
those
with
are
us.
the
Please.
so those are the 12 zodiacs of Harmonia.
I
Let's
think
see.
that's
I think that's all we really need to discuss. I know we've kind of talked about them in their respective episodes. We just kind of wanted to make a deeper dive into who they are individually.
hmm
And kind of give you like an idea of what their personality is, like lightly.
yeah.
Um,
Because there's so many, there's just
mhm,
not a lot of time to like really get it. Well, plus like you want to be able to like see a lot of what
mhm.
they are in the show.
And to be
Because
fair, like I mean, we're only seeing parts of them in the
yeah,
show. We're really gonna dive into who they are in that spin-off show that we're gonna
exactly.
do.
Because in
Um,
Musically Challenged, the Zodiacs are not the main characters.
no, like they're
They're part of
they're
the world, but
they're part of the world, they're part of the journey, but they're not the main characters and they're not the main story. But they are important because they're the ones that created this world.
yes.
Um, so yeah, that's those are the zodiacs. We are still looking for voice actors and animators and composers. Um, etherealstudios.com, ATHIRIAL, etherealstudios.com will show you like the list of the shows that are upcoming. Musicallychallengedshow.com is where you can see all of the
The lookbooks.
the lookbooks, which somebody needs to get to me so I can finish uploading. And you can reach us at either website, Escape Artist for Mary Beth's TikTok. You can reach us there as well. I'm Mel dot Rose on TikTok. I'm not as involved in the TikTok world, mostly just
I
because I'm the writer and she's the artist, so she has
I
more to
post
show.
regularly.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, please reach out. We love talking to you guys about this. We love communicating. these are paid positions, so don't think that, obviously we're not going to pay you, because we value
This
your
is not a
work.
volunteer position.
No, that this is what Ethereal Studios is that we've discussed this before. It's a real business, I promise. We have a license.
We do. We
um,
have an LLC.
but we want to be able to give you the experience you need to go on to something that's bigger and better if you want. Or if you choose to stay with us, are more than welcoming to anyone who wants to do that as well. And we hope that you've enjoyed your time with us talking about the zodiacs today. I know it's not as probably interesting of an episode.
I think the zodiacs are really interesting.
Well, they are, but we didn't have like a whole history with them. Like
True.
in
Well,
our other episodes, we have like a story and a history.
this is true. The history, we don't have as much of them because that's going to be saved for the show
Mhm.
for them. So this is
Mhm.
not a place to talk about that. This is just their role in Harmonia itself.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I love their designs. I
Mhm.
had so much fun with their designs.
Their designs are really pretty. Okay, so next week I believe we're doing a deep dive into the four magics of Harmonia. We've got
Yes.
wild, mage, wizard, and zodiac magic. So we'll really get into each of those four magics next week.
Yes.
And I think those are really cool how they're used. So tune back in to hear about that. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and I hope y'all have a great week. We love you,
Yes, we do.
and goodbye.
Bye.